to Relics Radio, your favorite weekly podcast dedicated to the metal detecting and treasure hunting community. Here are your hosts, Ken from Adventures in Dirt and Tony from 5280 Adventures.
Hold on a minute. I got to get ready here. Yeah, let me just put this on like this. Hey, everyone. DK here from Adventures in Dirt. Welcome Wednesday night. Relics Radio. I need to get my co-host on with me. He is Mr.
Cheers.
5280 Adventures.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man. You only got a glass? I got the
I did want to say it's been a little bit since we've been on. Yeah. I think it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I've had some whiskey. So if you see me off my chair, it's because it's been a while. So
you're out of practice. So we're trying to say
I am. So hey, happy Wednesday.
Man. Thanks, man. You've been busy. You've been really busy.
Huge news. I know it's not metal detecting related, but I finally sold my house. Yeah. So I'm really excited to get into a new studio. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and lot of stress and sleepless nights, but we're good to go. So yeah, we're moving soon, and there's a lot more to the story, obviously, that we don't need to talk about or share per se. But thumbs up for me for selling finally. So
yeah, it's awesome. I know one thing. Tony's like, I'm gonna have a war room, and I'm like, let's go.
Oh, you can't believe what this war room is gonna look like. It's gonna be incredible. I can't wait. So
it's so funny.
But hey, we got out digging within the last time that we've been on. So talk a little bit about that real quick.
What's that? Oh, you want to talk about that now? Okay, yeah.
Or we got out. We're gonna talk about finds tonight. We're gonna have kind of a show and tell, so we can save it if you want.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. We can, I'll tell you what,
tell everybody what the show's about first. A little bit different for Relics Radio tonight.
Right. And real quick too, for those of you that joined us last time we were on 2 weeks ago, and helped us kind of say goodbye to Loy Milam and had our tribute show to Loy 2 weeks ago. If you missed it, go back and take a look at it or listen to it on the audio replay. We had a bunch of people join us, just some amazing people in the community show up to reminisce and tell stories about Loy, and Tennessee Jeff was on, and we had Plugmaster Ford and Court Order and Heath Jones and Butch Holcomb. Matt Howell, tons of people on with us, all chatting about Larry, talking about Loy and remembering him and reminiscing and stuff. So it's great. If you missed that, go back. But thank you to everybody that showed up to listen, interact, and participate with us. That was fun.
I will say, I just want to interject real quick about that episode. That was my favorite show, not because of why we were there, but what we did when we were there. Reminiscing and talking and sharing stories, shedding some tears for a friend to all of us in the metal detecting community. So definitely out of many years that I've been doing this, that I've been on with you and been listening to even Loy and Tennessee Jeff, my favorite show, 100%. And absolutely an incredible, heartfelt show. And I think everybody, really should go back and listen to it, watch it maybe, because it turned out 1,000 times better than I could have ever expected. So
yeah, I agree. Right. I agree. I think we really did him justice. It really was a tribute show. I'm glad it came off the way it did. So tonight we're doing a show and tell show. So we thought, we'd come together, do some things, show some stuff we found lately. I said, wait, maybe we can, Tony and I talked, and he's like, let's get other people on to see what they've been finding. We thought, cool. So we kind of put it out there. If you want to come on, you want to do some show and tell, and hey, if you're listening to us right now and you want to come on and show some things, come on. We can send you the link. We just need a way to get a hold of you. If you know us on Facebook, send us a message on Facebook, and we can shoot you the link, and you can come on with us just like this. And some of our guests are all lined up, ready to show us some cool stuff. And we'll get to them, but should be a good show. I'm really excited about it.
Yep. It's gonna be awesome. We should have we got some good people waiting right now. We're gonna get to right now that has some pretty incredible finds, and again, hopefully we get more people that want to reach out, come on, show their face, show some finds, and tell stories, and just kind of, I mean, the show's about you guys. The show is about the community and the finds and the stories about what we love doing and everything. So we share it all together.
Yep.
And have a good time tonight.
Yep. Yeah, everyone's popping in. Say hi. Hey, 5 Mile, what's going on? Yeah, get on here with us, bud. Come on, Larry. Jump on with us. I sent you a link. Just click on that thing. Come on up. Yeah, so if you guys want to come on, just let us know. You know, I saw a picture of today. Seth and Kevin Dowd sent me a picture.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they're all out and about, getting together and out and about. And I was like, cool, man. I hadn't seen those guys together for a while. I just wish them a bunch of luck out there. If they're out there hunting this week, have a great time. Go get the good stuff. Tell me about it. That'd be awesome.
That's right.
But I was talking with Jason before, who's waiting in the green room. I was talking to him about us digging recently. And was that last weekend or the weekend before?
I think it was weekend before.
My days are gone.
My brain is gone.
But we tried to get Michael on to tell this story, but some of you have heard story of the exhilarating moose story of Tony's.
Yeah.
Finally, all together got our own hair-raising animal story. It wasn't too bad, but we had an episode with a bull. With a bull.
Yeah.
First time I've had that happen out in the fields with the cows.
Yeah. Yeah, you figure, I mean, out here in Colorado, we're more livestock than planting. You know, back Ohio, it's corn, beans, soybeans. We have more grazing out here. So, you know, we figured a field might be safe. We had permission to go out there, and they were very interested in what we were doing.
Yeah.
So we'll have some tips on how to keep bulls away.
We will. Coming up very shortly.
That's right.
Your tips on how to fend off the bulls.
That's right.
You say hi to anybody popping the thing, and then we'll get to it. We'll start getting.
Yeah, let's do it real quick here. Going all the way up to the top. Mr. Bill Hayes, always in the chat. And going back to last episode with the tribute to Loy, Bill was there on episode 1, and it was great to have Bill with us and talk about that stuff too as well. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, Craig Thompson, Brush Popper Detecting. How's it going there?
Craig? Good to see you, man.
Bob Rose.
Relic.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Scott LaFleur. He was going to join us tonight, and he had something come up. He had to kind of step back, and maybe next time. Scott says he's been listening for a long time, and watching our videos, so we appreciate that. But he had a killer find lately. You know what he found? He found a plume holder. You know what that is?
On a hat, right?
It's on the hat. Yeah,
on a hat.
And I don't know what those hats are called. It wasn't a kepi hat. It was some other type of hat. It has the hat badge on it, like the Jefferson hat badge and stuff. And
I've never heard of anybody finding something like that. So that's pretty interesting.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have more sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, want to shout out to Teresa, treasure hunter. Hopefully mom's doing well. Mom had a little bit of a medical episode, and I think she's back out of the hospital. So on the road to recovery.
Right. So happy for you, Teresa.
Yes, absolutely. James Lucier. Hello from Massachusetts. Silver Assassin Metal Detecting. Welcome on with us.
Good to see you.
I think we had Brandon Townsend up there. Yeah.
Drum and Detect. Good to see you. Shaco. Drum and Detect says it's a Shaco. Shaco plume holder. So the hat's called a Shaco. Gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah, Chris says Shaco hat.
There it is.
There we go. Cool.
I need to learn my hats. You don't have much sort of Civil War, pre-Civil War era here in Colorado.
That's right.
Like, hey, we found an old mining hat. That's all. Hey, let's get to our guests.
Absolutely. Here we go.
Yep. All right. Introduce these fine gentlemen.
Yeah, we got a couple longtime listeners. In fact, both of these guys have been on the show this past season. So we've got Jag from Claim the Past Thanks for coming on, Jag. And Jason.
Absolutely. Yep.
Good to have you.
What's up, guys?
How we doing?
Oh, man. Wednesday night. What's it like? It's hot here, man. Is it hot where you guys are at?
Well, we've had this storm pushing through, and so the weather dropped significantly today. But this past summer has been one of the most brutal summers I think I've ever bear witness to. And it gets pretty hot and humid in North Carolina, especially near the coast where I live. But this summer was just unbearable. And usually about 95 degrees is where I draw the line. And it's been well over 100 degrees every day here in North Carolina. It's just some absolutely insane weather. And when it's not blazing heat, it's pouring rain like it was today.
Yeah, it's so humid.
It's
humid.
Really, really hard metal detecting conditions. You have to really time it well between the weather because it's really unpredictable.
How about you, Jason?
Jason,
You're in South Dakota.
What's it like up there?
Yeah, well, we get some of that Colorado weather as well. It's been ridiculously hot. In fact, they just started school on Tuesday, and a few of the schools don't have air conditioning, so they actually did early releases yesterday and today to start out school. So I think today hit 99. Yesterday was just as bad.
Oof.
And so, yeah, makes for some tough conditions out there for sure.
I think we're all ready for some cooler weather for sure.
I say it every year. I'm like, man, I love the hot weather. And then after a while, by this time,
I've had enough.
Yeah, fall needs to fall.
Hey, we got one more person joining us.
All right. Who we got? Hey, it's Larry.
What's up, guys?
Relic Hunter.
Hey, buddy.
Yo.
How y'all doing?
Have you on.
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. We're going to talk about some relics. Hope everybody brought their show and tell finds.
That's cool.
Yeah. Lots of stuff to talk about. Has anybody been out? Tony and I were just telling the story about us recently getting out. Like, we don't get out all the time. If we get out on a weekend, every other weekend, it's usually a really good streak for us. But how about you guys?
Real quick, I just got to say I dressed up for y'all tonight.
No.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Larry. We'll see you next time.
See you later. Have a good day. Oh, something happened to Larry. We dropped him.
What? I
we
think
don't
it's
know what happened to Larry.
there.
Oh, sorry, Larry.
Who let that guy in the room?
Only for you guys.
Ouch. That hurts.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna have a good season this year. We'll see you in the playoffs. That's
guys.
What I can say.
You guys definitely have improved. That's for sure.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, I ain't been out much. It's been 100 degrees here, man. It's just been wicked hot.
Yeah.
But I did get out a couple of times this week, and I don't know if you guys looked at my Facebook, but I got my first 1860s Indian head.
I don't think I saw that, Larry. Over there.
1865.
Wow.
So.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. Heck
1865.
Yeah, I was actually hoping to get into the 1870s because I'd never found a 70s.
Huh.
So I didn't want to get greedy, right? So
I'm looking at it now. That's really cool, man.
I cleaned that baby up and flipped her over 65. I was a year away from a fatty, but
right.
you gotta have motivation and goals, right? So
there you go.
I was going to show it. Good deal. Man, we say here in Colorado, if we ever can get into the 1800s, it's a great thing. Like,
yeah,
we can find 1900s and 1906, 1914s all the time, but we get into the 1800s, it's awesome. But 1865 Indian head, that would be really cool.
I love finding an Indian head. I don't care what year it is. I just love finding those.
Yep.
They're a beautiful coin.
It's always a good find, man. I think I've only found one in my entire hunting career.
Yeah.
I watched you find
one Indian head or one 1865.
One Indian head penny.
One
Jack.
Indian head.
Yeah. Can you believe it?
Wow.
I remember it. I remember
crazy.
the day.
It's crazy. You would think that here I would be finding them all the time. It's just my coil has not gotten over it, man. Crazy.
Of course, we all know what year that 1 year we're looking for, right?
Hey, if you're smarter than a relic hunter, we absolutely know.
At least me and Ken do.
Yeah, we do. Bing. So Larry's alluding to Tony puts on a show called Are You Smarter Than a Relic Hunter, where he does sort of a trivia question show on Sundays. And that was one of the questions when Larry and I were on the show. And then what year is that, Larry? 1877.
Yep.
1877. And I watched Plugmaster Ford dig one of those live on one of his videos. Well, he recorded it and showed it later, but he live dug it, and he went over and hand dropped it on Missouri Mike on his video. It was amazing. Like he's like, whatever you do, don't rub it, Mikey. Don't rub it.
That's awesome.
So real quick, I know you got this jersey on, but what part of the country are you in, Larry?
Southwest Missouri.
Okay.
I'm about 10 minutes south of Joplin.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. We talked about that last time. All right. Well, who wants to go first? Well, we should probably get to some of these finds.
Yeah,
and if somebody else jumps on with us, we'll bring them up.
Who do they want to talk about?
Who wants to go first? We'll do round robin. Oh, also, hey guys, listen. Let me just some ground rules. You're welcome to leave whenever you like. You're welcome to stay as long as you like. Don't feel obligated. Don't, you know what I mean? Just so if you want to share some stuff, hey, I got to get going. Don't worry about it. Just do that. That's this format. I just want people to be able to jump on, jump off.
Yeah.
If they.
Well, I've seen this young fella's finds, and he's quite a hunter. So
I appreciate that, man. It's a whole different ball game here on the East Coast. There's obviously a completely different era of history. There's so much stuff that happened here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to see first? I'll leave it up to y'all. We can do Civil War, we can do colonial, we can do Spanish, shark teeth bottles. Like what are some of the things y'all want to see?
How about one of each?
You want to do one of each? Yeah, we can do one of each.
Take it old. Take us old and work it up modern, man.
Okay. All right.
So probably shark's teeth first, right? That's old.
Yeah, shark's teeth.
Yeah, we can start with some shark teeth. All right, cool. So up here in North Carolina, towards the East Coast, you guys may not heard of the Aurora phosphate mine. Back when they had opened pits when I was a little kid, we used to go in there and dig big holes in their pits and find great big shark teeth. And these ones, of course, are the big ones. These are megalodons. These are probably 5 to 10, 15 million years old, if I had to guess. And this is my biggest one that I found. This is a North Carolina tooth. I do have several others that came out of some of the rivers here in North Carolina. Towards the East Coast, you can actually dive, and the rivers are so deep that when the water passes through, it erodes away the old oceanic fossil layer. So you can go and find like whale bones and dolphin teeth, shark teeth, all from different eras from millions of years ago. Those are North Carolina teeth, but I also have a few teeth that I found in Florida, and you'll notice these ones, while they're a little bit smaller, have a really beautiful color to them. The root is
nice contrast.
The actual enamel is blue, and the roots are all white on a lot of these teeth. And this specific formation can only be found in South Florida, and they come in every color of the rainbow. This one's more of like a black color, but I have a few like green color teeth.
Really?
Some tan colored teeth. Yeah, they come out in really, really beautiful colors in Florida.
That's awesome.
As far as fossils, I just got into fossils, so I don't have too many. Those are just some of my better shark teeth that I found over the years. I guess we can move up to native. I don't really have a lot of insane Native American stuff because out west you have a lot better quality like arrowheads and stuff. But this is one of my better points that I found. I think I was probably 14 or 15 years old when I pulled this up out of a tobacco field behind my house after school one day. And
that's beautiful shape, man.
Yeah, along with this point came a few hundred other points, I would imagine, most of which were broken, but that was one of the only complete ones. Arrowheads are pretty easy to find here in North Carolina, but I think I said on the last time I was on the show, we don't really have good stone out here. We just have quartz and a bunch of like hard chert that's really makes it really difficult for the Native Americans to nap.
So was there a stone of preference that they just chert?
Specifically, it's rhyolite here in North Carolina. That was quarried a lot in the mountains. We have a point type out here in North Carolina referred to as the Morrow Mountain, and Morrow Mountain was a Native American quarry for rhyolite, and then they would quarry out like big chunks of rhyolite and then trade it with other Native American tribes throughout the state.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever found any other type of teeth? Like, have you ever found any other type of teeth, like mammoth teeth or anything like that?
I don't have any mammoth teeth. I don't have a lot of mammal stuff. You do find like Ice Age horse teeth a lot, and you find some like weird deer bones and stuff. I do have a few great whites and some makos, some Histala shark teeth, but they don't get nearly as big and they're not as impressive as the megalodons, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But most people, when they look for shark teeth, they like to see the great big ones.
Sure. Yeah. They're amazing.
Those are definitely my favorite. Yeah. I do have one coin from like the ancient times that I may have talked about last time I was on the show. This is my oldest metal detecting find. It is a coin from the Byzantine Empire, and it dates back to around the 5th or 6th century.
Wow.
Believe it or not, this actually came up in the front yard of an old house here in North Carolina. I had it looked at by a few coin experts, and they said that it was 100% legit. And I don't know what it's doing here. My only guess is it was part of somebody's coin collection, and they lost it, and that's how I found it.
Yeah.
But something I never expected to find here in North Carolina for sure.
Yeah. Wow. You had to think it was some kind of trinket or some kind of at first, right? You're like, this couldn't possibly be real, right?
I thought it was a bale seal when I first found it. You know, like one of them lead bale seals. Sometimes they come out like in weird like designs and stuff, weird shapes. And my friend was looking at it and he said, nah, this is an ancient coin. And I didn't even know what it was at the time. He sent me a whole bunch of info. And then this coin dealer guy wrote me a little card with some information on it to kind of help explain what it was. But
that's so cool, man.
I think I was probably like 12 or 13 when I found that. And
wow.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick before you get into the next stuff, we got one more guest that joined us over here. So
that's good.
Let's bring on J-Man from Metal Sharks.
Hey, how we doing?
Hey, what's up, J-Man?
Hey, Ken. Hey, Tony. Good to see everybody.
Hey, good to see you.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. What part of the country are you in? We kind of went around and said that already.
Yes, sir. I'm in North Florida. I'm in St. Johns County, so just south of Jacksonville, Florida.
All right. Yeah. How far from you is that, Jag?
He's part of that East Coast team. Where he's North Florida. He's probably about 7.5, 8 hours. Yeah.
Cool.
But he's on that East Coastal stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
So cool. Thanks for joining us, Jamie. We'll get with the Jag's kind of working this up from 9 million years ago to I think we're in the 5th century right now. So he's working his way forward.
Yeah. Well, I haven't made it to England, so I don't have anything else from the ancient times. But all across the East Coast, as you guys know, the Spanish came and ruled a lot of the East Coast, North Carolina, all the way down to Florida mainly. And I have with me several Spanish coins that I thought I would show you guys. This one came out here not too far away from me. And this is a Spanish cob. You guys have seen these before. This is a 1 real cob. Carlos III, I think. So this would be like, if I'm correct, like early 16 or late 1600s or early 1600s, one or the other. But this is a Carlos III 1 real cob. This was actually my first cob that I ever dug. Again, another little 1 real cob. And they're just, I love, these are my favorite coins to ever find. I love the crosses, and I love how every time you find one, it's different than the last. Like every single cob that you find is a little bit different. And it's hard to really date these because some of them don't have exact dates. I think I've only got one with a partial date. But most of them date. I think some of the ones that came from down south are a little bit older. They may be pushing like late 1500s. And then I have cobs all the way up to like 1715.
Anybody else on our panel find a cob or any kind of Spanish? Has anybody found anything?
I get some cob out in my garden every once in a while.
Got a corn cob pipe.
That's about all I can say about cob.
Tony, you found Spanish, huh?
Yeah, I got a Spanish 2 real. 1772 Spanish 2 real. Yeah.
Where
Found that in
that,
Ohio.
did that come
In
out
Ohio.
out west, out Ohio? You said
In Ohio. Yeah, we were at a school site in the middle of a field that had a blacksmith shop, and reason I was out in Ohio was my buddy said, "Hey, you've never dug a large cent before. You know, we don't see a lot of those out in Colorado." So I went out there and we went hunting, and he's like, "We find those like Wheaties you find out in Colorado." So
yeah.
everybody was finding stuff, and I ended up finding an 1852 large cent. Lost my mind, made my whole weekend, fell in love with it. It was absolutely amazing. Went down to the end of the row of the corn, came back up the other side, and maybe 10 feet away, I found the 1772 2 real,
Wow.
which then, you know, kind of trumped the large cent. I mean, like, how do I love both of them at the same time? I do, but you know, yeah, I went 1800s and then 1700s within like, I don't know, 15 minutes.
What kind of 2 real was it? Philip, 3, 4.
I can't remember.
It was an aluminum one.
What was the year? What was the year?
It was an aluminum one.
1772.
That would have been like late Philip III or early Philip IV.
Okay.
So
Tony, Lady Liberty was your first love. Come on, man.
I agree. It's tough. It's tough not to love USA, but I mean, I don't think anybody here would throw back a 1700 a Spanish coin. So.
I remember how excited you were for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
All right, Jag, we're in the 1500s, right?
We're 1500s, working through some colonial stuff. I'll show you some other coins. This is a I think these are called like a 2 deniers. I could be wrong, but this is a copper coin.
Wow, look how beautiful that is.
1770 something. And this is actually French. This is a French coin.
Wow. Do you find a lot of French down there in North Carolina?
It's really hit or miss. Like, it's mostly British stuff, but you can find French stuff. It's just really, really rare. You can find some French stuff. I found a Irish halfpenny bank token or something that's from the 1800s. So you have a lot of weird denominations down here, and a lot of times it's like really, really unexpected because where I'm from in this area was mostly trade. There wasn't a lot of money, so you had all kinds of denominations and currencies from other countries that were being traded and accepted here throughout the colonies. Nice. And then as far as coins, I have a couple other Spanish coins. You've seen these. These are just the half reals.
Oh, just a half, yeah. No big deal.
Yeah. Well, don't even show us that. That's only a half. We don't like that.
Not like that, but these are a little bit more common here on the East Coast to find than the cobs. They are newer. These would have been like the smaller size of the one he found, the 2 real. They would have been the same design and size and everything, or same design, not size. But my light's kind of messing up.
Jag, you ever find a 1/4 real? I saw Buckle Boy in the chat, and that's the first time I'd ever seen one.
Yeah, we've seen we find quarter cuts all the time.
No, I mean actual 1/4 real. Like, you have a full half real. How about a full 1/4 real?
I have a lead one. It's not here with me on the table, but I have a lead 1/4 real. It has like the little castle on one side, and on the other side, it's got the dragon or lion on the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very cool, man.
But it's not silver. It's lead for whatever reason. It's kind of weird. Here, I have one other thing from the 1700s I want to show you guys. This is actually somewhat of a recent find. This is a French sword handguard from the Revolutionary War. And unfortunately, it's missing the rest of the handguard, but that's where the handle would have went through and the sword would have come up here. This is a French small sword.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it like a rapier or something, or is it just a small
sword? These are small swords.
Wow.
So yeah, that's found beautiful. That not too long ago. Yeah, and then here we'll get into some Civil War stuff here now. This is probably my best find of all time, in my opinion. I was doing some metal detecting up in Virginia when I think I had to be like 13 or 14. And this is actually my uncle's house. It was he owns a property up in Virginia that was, I think the house was built in like 1850. there was a Civil War skirmish not too far away, and I brought my metal detector there. I think at the time I was swinging the AT Pro, and in my hole, I found this. This is 1840s, 1850s malicious sword buckle. I was super, super excited with this, but I rechecked the hole and the signal got weirder. There was obviously still something down there, but the signal was weird. So I decided to keep digging, and this came out.
What?
So we have the belt
in one hole
and the sword were in the same exact hole. And yeah, so and this is for those that don't know, this is a Confederate D-guard Bowie knife. Makes sense because I found it in Virginia. A lot of Confederate troops stayed on the property. I think my only other like really good find was a VMI button that came out of there. But it was obvious that Confederate troops had stayed there. The house had actually been metal detected several times before. But this was such a weird signal, I can see why it had left.
Wow.
It was left. Yep.
That's incredible.
So who wants to show their finds after Jag?
Yeah, I don't. That's it. Everyone have a good night.
I'll see you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
We're gonna start seeing people just drop off the show.
You're like, I found a thimble.
Come over to the East
I
Coast.
found a thimble.
I was going to show you my collection of wheat pennies, but
Jag, that's pretty incredible, man. Congratulations.
I appreciate that. And then
shock you like crazy.
This is my best Civil War find for this year so far. This was my first hunt of the year. A carbine sling buckle. I found this up in Virginia at a Pennsylvania cavalry encampment. The troops stayed there for about a month. And I was actually there this past weekend at that spot. I found a couple bullets and a few button backs. But this buckle came out earlier this year, and my first carbine sling buckle. I'm super excited about.
That's incredible.
It's a special find, man.
Here's one final Civil War relic I'll show you guys. This is my best condition U.S. buckle.
Dang.
And
what's the back of that look like?
There's the back, and I don't know if you can tell, but right under there is actually like a little stamp. I haven't actually done the research to see like who the manufacturer is, but I found that was a North Carolina find that came right out of sand, so not that Virginia hot clay that most people find these in. This is what they look like when they come fresh out of sand. I mean, just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I would think that's what they would come out like in Colorado and that loamy soil we have, but I don't know.
Probably the same up in South Dakota too, I would imagine.
Well, what kind of soil do y'all have out west? Like, what's the digging like? Is it just straight dirt, pretty much?
Yeah, ours is sand. Ours is real loamy, real sandy, loamy in some areas. If we get in the mountains underneath all the pine trees, you got a bunch of that pine drop, keeps the soil nice and moist. And actually, you know, it'll kind of hurt relics more than it does when you're out in the loamy, sandy soil. Like that protects relics. Like we're digging old like shoe buckles, knee buckles, stuff like that, that are still operational right out of the ground. You know what I mean? Like a full operational hinge, suspender buckle or something like that. It's just very, very delicate, at least here. How about you, Jason, up in South Dakota?
Yeah, it's a little bit of the same. The prairies aren't that bad when you get out in the flats, but here in the Black Hills, same thing. You get more of the mineralized soils, a little tougher to dig in. But
same for you, Larry, or what's your soil like out there, Larry?
Very rocky.
Rocky.
Oh yeah. I mean, it just depends on where you're at sometimes, but the majority of the time there's a lot of rocks. And right now it's so dry, like you can't. The dirt is like powder. So like digging a 6-inch hole might take you 10 minutes sometimes.
Because of the rocks.
Because you're just picking and picking and picking. So, but you know, sometimes you sink your shovel and you'll go 8 inches deep and you're like, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's like a welcome change for sure.
Yeah. Oh, you got to think it's a little moist down in Florida, right, J-Man?
Yes, that's for sure. I do a lot of my hunting at the beach, so that's one kind of detecting I do, but I also do some interior detecting. And so a lot of the woods near here are pine forests. And a few years ago, we had a hunt at near Melrose, Florida, which is outside of Gainesville, Florida. And just briefly, I wanted to tell you about that, if I may. It was Florida Hunt 8.
Okay.
And it was an organized hunt. So that was a lot of natural hunts, and then there were a few seeded hunts too. But during the natural parts of the hunt, I was able to go back in some leased property that they had access to for this organized hunt, and went into this one area that had a lot of brambles. And this was probably my best find to date, was from that area.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm kind of
That's
afraid
so-
to show part of it because it's so thin here.
Yeah.
And I've tried to do really light electrolysis on it to protect it. And then I did some research. I think it was called conservator's wax or something like that, that I was able to put on it. I watched some videos like by Bird Dog and other YouTube channels on how to take care of relics like that. But it basically was a socket bayonet, probably from the Civil War, and probably an Enfield design, because we had access to an archaeologist who helped us when we showed pictures, and he could tell us what he thought the relic would be, what era it would be from.
Yeah, very nice, man. I bet you were shocked when you saw it. Like, what part of it came out first? Like was the tip just what you saw, or was the base, or what?
Yeah, it was a real surprise because I really didn't know what I had. And so at first, I've only been detecting 7 or 8 years, and we don't have a lot of Civil War history in Florida. There were a few skirmishes like the Battle of Natural Bridge and Battle of Olustee, but not as much Civil War activity here. So I didn't really know what it was at first, to be honest. And I was looking at it and getting this out of the ground. And I'm like, well, I don't know what this is, but I better take good care of it. So I took my, you wear a glove when you're out detecting. So I put my glove on the tip and was able to keep it in my pouch and get it back in safely. But then a fellow that you guys know, Butch Holcomb,
Sure.
the publisher of American Digger magazine, was on that hunt. And so we were just chatting, as I was coming back in from part of the hunt, and talked to him, and his eyes kind of lit up when I showed him that. And he said, "You know what you've got there?" So that really opened my eyes, and I realized that it was a socket bayonet, and just did a lot of research after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's incredible. When you don't know what, necessarily believe what could be in your area, and then you find something that dates back to that time, your whole mind just explodes and opens up more not opportunities, but like just your brain as to what you actually could come across. Ken and I have had the same thing in Colorado. We're thinking, oh, we're not going to be able to find whatever, but there's places where we can get back to the 1850s, even before, a little bit before. I mean, right now we're looking for a site from 1838. And if we find that, man, it's one of the earliest sites in Colorado, which just blows our mind. We could have an opportunity for something like that.
Yeah, and I was really fortunate to find it too, because just to kind of give a shout out to Relics Radio, but also Loy, who you guys had talked about at the beginning. And I wasn't on the show a few weeks ago, but when I first started detecting, probably back in 2018, I remember a few things Loy would say on the show, like, go low and slow and take your time and make sure you have a repeatable signal. Mm-hmm. But I remember he would also not be one to be afraid of going into some brambles or real thickets. So that was another part of that bayonet find, was getting into a really rough area where maybe even Brer Rabbit wouldn't want to go.
That's a great tip. I mean, everyone out there listening, right? I mean, when you're hitting sites, even, especially if you think they've been hit before. We were just on a site. We know it's been hit. It's been searched for years. And Tony was like, I'm only going up underneath all the shrubbery, all the thorn bushes, everything that we normally wouldn't touch. And he started finding all the stuff there. And same thing on that buckle, the button house, right, Tony? We got up underneath all that growth, and it'd be like, that's where all the good stuff was.
Yeah. The easy stuff is going to get picked out right away. Nice open areas, paths that go through between trees, things like that. But you start slowing down, get up underneath the places that other people maybe haven't spent time on, you're going to find the stuff that was there previously, for sure.
Yeah, just briefly, one other find I wanted to share. It may not look like a whole lot right away, but it's this ring here. And when I looked on the inner band of this men's wedding ring, which I found in mid-July at the nearest beach to where I live. So it's one of our First Coast beaches in St. Johns County. They call it the historic First Coast. But Ken, I think a while ago, you might remember at one point I found a gold ring and it said 585. So I had to do a little research and see what that meant. And it meant 58.5% gold content. And so I think that was probably a ring that was lost by a tourist from Europe, maybe. And they have a different system and not putting like 14K, but putting 585. So you get used to these different numbers like 925 silver, but this one is 950. So I did some research on that, and I believe that it's probably platinum or maybe silver. So I'm still doing research on it, but it also had an engraving on the inside with some initials, and I'm hoping I can find the owner and maybe return it.
Oh,
So I listed it on one of our local sites, and I may look one or two more sites and see if I can put the power of social media to work.
yes.
Yeah, that would be so cool if you could. That's a beautiful ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thanks.
Very cool, man. We don't find a lot of jewelry here much because we just don't.
We just
don't
had
have
a
those
buddy.
kind of areas.
He just found a 585.
That's right.
Gold ring.
He did,
and I think he said it was 14. It's two different type of not valuation, but quality. And it's 14. It's 14 karat, right? I think is what the 585 is.
Yeah. Everyone in the chat saying platinum, Jamie.
There you go.
Cool.
That's a good deal.
Thanks.
Yep. All right.
I wanted to mention real quick, in between Jamie and Jag, Copper Joe had posted that he found a 2000 clad dime. So he did well too. So good job, Joe.
Good job, Joe. Good job, Copper Joe. Every find's a good find. Everyone gets a ribbon. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's funny. Who wants to go next? I know I don't after these guys, man. I don't know. I
know. Yeah.
I got a penny, I think.
I'll get mine over with, I guess.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, So, I mean, down here where I'm from, man, it's like you got to work your butt off finding stuff. If you don't got good permissions, you're out just hitting sidewalks, parks, stuff like that. Jag is he's got a nice gig up there. So I appreciate you finding all that good stuff, man. It's pretty cool.
You just have to be where the history's at. You know what I mean? And it's if you live in areas like out west, obviously it's not as old, but you're finding, in my opinion, it's just as hard to find a large cent in Colorado than it would be to find like a cob out here. You know what I mean? It's same rarity. One coin's older than the other, but it's the same rarity. You know what I mean? You have to work just as hard to find both.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on where you're at. So
nice outlook.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
To touch on what Tony said a while ago, when he found that Spanish and that large cent, you find something like that and you think, okay, man, my luck's turned. I'm going to start getting on a roll and finding stuff. And, like down here, I might find something. Like this year, it's been pretty rough. It's been hot and I just haven't found a lot of good stuff. But you just got to be patient. And just like when I got that 65 Indian head, it was like, oh, yes, finally, something really good for me. It's like I'm super excited about that. And I've only been in this about 4 years now. So, and when you first start going and you get in some good places, you get bucket listers kind of knocked off pretty quick. If you can, you got to get lucky, of course. And for me, it started at my own house.
Oh.
And that's what got me into the hobby. And eventually, I'm getting ready to start posting some content on YouTube. I don't have any on there, but my first one's actually going to be labeled where it all started. And it's going to be about my yard, basically, because that's what got me so excited about the hobby. And then coming on YouTube and start watching you guys and other guys, and I just started learning so much. And now it's like when I can't find something or I can't go hunting, now I'm doing bottle hunting, stuff like that. And I always arrowhead hunted. So I've got lots of arrowheads. I've accidentally found arrowheads here recently, hunting in some fields, and I've dug some holes, thinking, oh, there's a bullet in there, and dig around, and hey, what happens? An arrowhead pops out of that hole. So that's the last probably 3, 4, 5 arrowheads I found was on accident.
Wow. That's
you
good
never
luck.
know.
That's some good luck.
I love finding anything, honestly. Like I will go, like you guys said, I will go in the weeds and the briars. I'll go in there because you don't know what's under there. I'll get in there and get dirty and get ticks and all kinds of stuff. But I'll show you guys a couple things. I've got a few things laid out here, and it just kind of I mean, like, I love finding the relics, of course, because I love the history that comes along with trying to find, where it came from. What is it? Sometimes you don't even know. And I'll get to a story here in a minute that's a real mind-blowing one for me, and about something I found. But I love finding military stuff. I have a lot of military buttons and different things, medals and different things. But one of my favorite military finds is this right here.
Ooh.
And that is an officer's Air Force pin that went on his hat, the visor hat.
Wow.
And that thing
intact.
Is that a World War II one?
It is World War II.
Or is that post-war?
It is World War II.
I got you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's
and it's still
man.
got the screw-in piece on the back. That's
Yeah, it does.
Wow.
When I first saw that in the hole, I thought I had something that was going to be big time gold, but it didn't matter. I love this thing. This is
great find, dude.
Beautiful.
All intact. Do you find those folded up all the time too, or missing parts and pieces of it?
Deteriorated.
So you find a whole complete one. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, and the pins where it's stuck in the hat at the top up there.
Yeah,
they're still sharp. So you could wear this again. You could actually wear it. So
was that in Missouri?
I found that just a few miles from my house.
Wow, nice find.
It was at a friend of mine's house. I also found one of the U.S. collar pins about 5 feet away, and it's in terrific condition too.
There you go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I love
and
those.
it has the back as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, those. I love finding military stuff. It just means a lot. So that was World War II. I found World War I and World War II stuff as well, or World War I stuff. A nice coat button.
Yeah, great.
Wow, look at that. That's in great condition.
Yeah, the back is gone though.
Oh,
but still, I love it. And I have some Civil War stuff too. A kepi button, tiny.
Oh yeah,
there you go,
man.
Nice.
So that went on the side of the hat
at the strap line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, that's military stuff. I love finding those. And jewelry. I have a lot of jewelry. Here's one of the rings that I found. I found it at the beginning of this year.
Let me see.
Is that gold or silver?
Oh, there you go.
It's silver. I don't know if it's real diamonds or not. I never have had it tested.
Pretty.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
That's a great ring, yeah.
And then opal. It's a vintage silver.
That's a pretty one.
When you look at it in the right lighting.
Yeah, it's got a little blue tint to it.
Yeah, it has that crazy looking stuff. And of course, who doesn't accidentally like to find a Bennington marble?
There we go.
I have a couple of those. And then the relics. Everybody's found harmonica reeds, right?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But have you ever found the big boy?
Oh
my gosh, that's huge.
Big mamma jamba there.
That's called the Goliath.
Yeah, it is. My gosh.
Is that not impressive?
That's a giant instrument, man.
I don't think I've ever found one that big.
I didn't know they existed. But
I found a few that were that big. And I was told, and I could be completely wrong on this, but somebody told me that the big ones, are about the size of the ones that you found, were accordion reeds.
Yeah, I don't know.
Buckle Boy just said it's a chromatic harmonica reed.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
probably
have
honestly.
Yeah, a larger range to it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's and it's almost completely intact. It's just broken one little spot.
When you uncovered that, did you uncover a quarter of it? And you're like, oh, it's a harmonica reed. And then it just kept coming
and kept pulling it out.
Yeah, kind of at first I thought it was a comb or something.
Yeah.
You know, because I was only seeing like maybe that, and I had to be very careful digging it because, you know, you break those harmonica reeds really easy when you dig them. But I got it out of there. And then I'll just hit on I've got just a bunch of crazy stuff, but I'll touch on a couple of my coins that I found my favorites. The Flying Eagle.
Oh, there you go.
Rare to find.
Beautiful.
Very rare to find.
Very, very difficult to find.
1857?
57 or 58.
It's a 58. Yeah.
There you go.
And then I showed you that Indian head. That was a recent find. And then this one's hard. It's kind of hard to see, but seated quarter.
There we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great find.
Yeah.
That stuff, guys, I mean, that's like, when I find this stuff, it's just mind blowing to me. I get so excited because I just don't find it all the time. It's just, it's very rare. And then a couple of my better coins from my yard. This was at the very beginning of my detecting career. Probably maybe the second silver coin I'd ever found. And it was my first 1800s coins was 1899 Barber $50.
Oh,
what?
Oh,
Wow.
I can't believe $50, man.
Big chunk of silver, man.
Oh, there we go.
Go silver.
1899. I just can't believe people would lose that and not find it, not go back for it. Like, what's the story? Why is it there? Because if you lost something that big, you think that you would know that you lost it.
That's why those are so hard to find, because even the dollars, because it's not like dropping a dime. You know, like you said, you're gonna look down and there it is right there. And then one more coin that I found in my yard, which I will touch on a story when I do my YouTube video.
Yeah.
And this has a terrific story behind it. I won't tell you tonight, but it's going to be hard to see.
It's a large cent.
Large cent.
Yeah. Let me see if I got it turned the right way.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Can't see the date.
Can't see the date. It's going through almost there. Almost there.
Gotta be like a 50 something.
You are right.
Yeah.
Double italicized fives. The fives are italicized. It's 1855.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That was about 10 feet off my driveway and just right here in the front.
Yeah.
Now, Larry, you talk about finding all this stuff at your house, right? What's the history of your property?
The house is early 1900s. But the fellow that owned this property, there's 240 acres. He was a German fella, and he was one of the pioneers of Joplin, Missouri. So he came to Joplin in like the 1870s when Joplin was first becoming a city. So he bought all this out here. I think he did it for the mining, because the mining boom was going on, and I think there was a couple mines out here. So I don't think he wasn't successful. So he just ended up, his family moved out here, and so I've done a lot of research, and I'll touch on that in that video as well.
Yeah.
And then of course you guys know, I know Tony and Ken, you know what I'm going to pull out next.
Well, I hope I know. I hope you do what I think you are.
Yeah, right.
Pulling up my big boy.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
this was exciting.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Jag, you know what that is, Jag?
No, flip it around.
It's the same on the other side.
It's Captain America's training.
I don't know what that
shield.
Is that hollow?
There you go.
Canteen. Oh, it didn't
Canteen,
have the spout.
yeah. Right.
That is a 1861 Union Bullseye Canteen.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And where did you find that?
The story behind this is I found this at the Missouri Show Me Pro-Am back in March. And Mitch and Renita Barks puts this hunt on, and it's on 1,700 acres. And there's a ton of history on that acreage. Like there was a train that went through there at one time, and Billy the Kid actually robbed the train. It was the first train robbery in Missouri. General Grant had been on this property because there were skirmishes there. The Trail of Tears runs through it. But anyways, they had seeded fields, designated seeded fields. But on 1,700 acres, the natural finds they're just everywhere. You can go anywhere and find something. But it was the very last day on Sunday. It was a 2-day hunt. And the weather was getting really rough, and they were going to shut it down at 1 o'clock. So my wife had came with me to this hunt. She wanted to go. So she went, and she had a great time too. She found a lot of good stuff. And so at the end of the seeded hunt on Sunday, she was like, let's go walk around, look for some natural stuff. So we headed across the road, and we headed and walked up through like 5 big pastures. We walked miles, and we're coming up this last pasture, and it goes up into the hill and goes in the woods. And we'd kind of hunted around there on Saturday, but there was this weird calling. Something was pulling me, I guess. I had this weird, we just kept going and going and going. I kept going back to this one spot. I don't know why. We walk up into the hills, and I'm like, I wanted to hunt around those woods, because everywhere you hunted was just mowed fields. And I'm like, well, why can't there be anything out in the weeds, in the woods? Right? So I go out in them woods, and I'm picking around and going up in through them trees and stuff. And I get this, I finally get this signal. It's a terrible signal. I was using my legend, and it was like because this canteen is 10. So it was a bad signal, but I went ahead and dug it and avoided stabbing a hole in it. Wow. Somehow. The ground was really soft up in there. I got it out of the ground, and I looked at it like, what is this? Is it a hubcap? I mean,
I would have thought immediately.
Hubcap, right? I don't know.
Right.
Yep.
So I turned it over. I start looking at it, and I see that hole, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's to a stove, a gas stove or something. So I was like, okay. I fortunately put it in my pouch. I could have just left it there, but I don't. It's a habit. I don't leave my trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I take all my trash and clean the earth as we go hunting. You know what I mean? So I stuck it in my pouch. So it's standing up in my pouch. It's just in there, barely fitting. So my wife's like, we gotta go. It's almost 1 o'clock. It's getting really windy. So we head back, and we go back to the field where everybody was, and everybody had already headed back to Greenville, where they had set up, where they had like all the tents, and everybody was set up, and they did all the giveaways and had lunch and all that good stuff. So we're down in the parking lot going to get in the car, and I see Murray Crow. So Murray and Randy Upchurch are down there, and I run over and talk to Murray, and I was showing him that Flying Eagle coin. Well, Murray looks at me, he goes, what you got in your pouch? And I said, oh. I look over at it, and I said, I grabbed it. I said, I don't know. And I looked at him, and his eyes were like this big. And Murray goes, you know what you got there? I said, no, I don't. I thought it was just something off the stove. He goes, well, let me tell you. He goes, you got yourself a bullseye canteen from the Civil War. And I was like, what? I said, you're kidding me. He goes, no. He goes, that's what that is. He goes, that is magnificent. He was like, you want me to take that for you? I can take it off your hands. I said, no, Murray, I don't. But anyways, Murray was the first one that saw it, other than she saw it at the same time Murray did, because I didn't even show her when I had it. So we headed back to the meetup place, and I went right to Butch and asked him about it. And he said, go get it. And I went and got it, and his eyes did the same thing. He was like, oh my gosh. And, he was just like, he was as happy as I was that I found it. So I was fortunate to make the cover of American Digger magazine on the last issue. So
yes, congrats on that.
Congratulations, man.
So, the 4 years of my metal detecting has just been, it's been full of just so much fun, and meeting so many people, and making new many friends, and learning so much, and it's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain what it's done. It's just so much fun.
Matt
And
with Gone Digging wants to know how deep it was, Larry.
People have asked me a lot of questions about that, and because I thought it was trash, and because when I got it out of the ground, I still thought it was trash. I didn't take pictures. I didn't take video. I didn't show my wife when I had it in my pouch. And I know that it was probably a good 10 to 12 inches deep. But I will tell you that dirt, it was just so soft. There wasn't a single rock in it. And it was just like this thing came out of the ground. When I reached down in there, it was like it came out of butter. And it just was, saying, here I am. So,
well, it just goes to show you. I mean, you started out by saying it wasn't a good signal. You dug it anyways. You stay committed to it, going 10 to 12 inches deep on it. Man, it paid off for you. Congrats on that. That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But here's the other part. Here's the other part where you're going to have to kick my butt. I scanned around in that area because I was like, maybe there's something else here.
Right.
And I was getting that same kind of signal in multiple spots.
Right there, huh?
Well, guess what I didn't do?
You didn't go back and dig it.
I didn't dig those signals because when I thought that was trash,
yeah, right.
I walked off. I walked off from it, and it took me about a month to get over not doing that. I mean, like, that's all I could think about was going back to that spot and digging up those other signals. Because how do I know there wasn't like other Civil War relics sitting there in that ground with it? So
it's a hot spot. You got to get back there.
Hey, it was lesson learned. The hunt won't be in it won't be in the same place this year though. So we won't be going back there.
Yeah.
So, but lesson learned. I mean,
yeah, Buckboy's comments would make us all sick. What gets thrown away by the unknowing.
Sure.
That's why he spent 4 years writing the book he's got coming out. But the stuff we throw away, I guarantee that we've all thrown stuff away. That's probably been something. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't throw any of my trash away. I have totes and buckets full of it. So
nice.
That's so cool. Hey, Jason, we want to get up with you. We want to get up to you next, Jason. First, we need to pose a question to the group. And actually, Jason, we'll let you answer first. And then as we make our way around, we'll get to some of your finds. We'll start with you, Jason. And think the rest on the panel, just think about this. What would you consider boring to most that you find exciting? So it's something you find exciting that you think is just boring, would be boring to most.
Yeah, that's a great question. That's actually my first find here. Like Larry, like you got to have these stories that go along with some of these finds. And it's this, to most, it's probably just a Cadillac emblem, right?
Yeah.
Like Larry, it was found in our yard by complete happenstance. Actually, my wife and I had bought our nephew a metal detector, and then his cousin actually brought it down when the ground thawed to ask me how to run it. I'd never run a metal detector, and that was in 2023. And we started digging around the yard, finding nails, all sorts of things. And there was this one tone that we couldn't, basically sending the machine into overload. And so we dug and dug and dug, and up pops this Cadillac emblem right from the yard, completely unexpected. But again, people have probably found these. There's a impressive group in the chat room and on this call as well. But without this find, I probably wouldn't have any of the stuff I have today or do what I do. So I do cherish this one a little bit. So obviously, we did the research on it. It looks like it comes back from a 1948 to 52 Cadillac. And it was in a unique spot in our yard. There's some history behind our property. We have a large, what I would deem to be a commercial type business that was here. So I think there was vehicles coming and going, and obviously that fell off, and we found it with a $100 metal detector. And so when we pulled that from the ground, my mind just exploded, and I thought, well, what can you do with a $300 metal detector to do with. So 3 metal detectors later, but I credit that because I don't know what we'd have done if we'd have just found a bunch of stuff and trash in the yard. But this find kind of spawned it for me. So
are you watching?
Yeah. Cool. How about who else wants to take it? Jag, what do you think? Something you find exciting you think most people would think was just boring?
Well, everything that I find it pretty exciting, and I feel like you guys would find it exciting too. But I would to answer that question honestly, I collect a lot more than just like shark teeth and bottles and arrowheads and metal detecting stuff. I collect like antiques and stuff too. So a lot of times when I go visit old places, I like to collect like old books and like maybe old signs or like random things that are like non-metal detecting finds that are still somewhat preserved. A lot of times I explore like abandoned houses, or I get the opportunity to go like visit some abandoned places, and most people just hand you like, I don't know, a random piece of something from their house, or sometimes you find like a dusty book cover, and I actually find those really cool. I save a lot of, especially books. A lot of people find books and don't really think anything of them because most of the time they're like all falling apart and stuff. But a lot of times I like to save just the covers of the books, and I'll make like murals or I'll frame them or something, because a lot of the old antique books from the 1800s, they look really cool. And yeah, I think that's how I would answer that.
That's cool. Jamie, how about you?
Hold on, I want to talk about what Jack said. I like finding old books that have some sort of an inscription on the inside of it that someone gave it to somebody else.
Like wrote to somebody.
Yeah,
with like a date.
I think
those are really cool.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And I don't know if other people find that boring, but you were just talking about books themselves. But I think it's always a treasure find when I open up a book that, that's been resold 10 times and it goes back to the 20s and somebody wrote it out to their grandson for their birthday or something like that. Happy birthday, 1929 or something like that. Like, I don't know, just the personalization of it. I love that. Sorry to interrupt you there, Jamie.
No. Oh, that's all right. Well, Tony and Ken, that's a really good question. And it got me thinking a little bit. And I think it goes back to, I think when I first got into the hobby around 2017, 2018, I watched Liz, the Digging Canuck, a former K9 police officer in Canada. And she had a great show, but she would always say, go with the history that's in your area. So I thought about the history in Florida. We don't have as much Civil War history, but we did have a heck of a lot of World War II training that went on with all of our coastlines. And a lot of that was where I used to live over near Tallahassee, the state capital. Down in Carabel, they had Camp Gordon Johnston, and General Omar Bradley was the commanding general there. And at one point, he famously said that whoever picked this ground for training should be court-martialed because they had such rough conditions there. They had chiggers, they had no-see-ums, they had all kinds of bugs, and it was just miserable and hot, and they didn't have AC yet. But long story short, when I first started around 2018, I went to St. George Island, and I had read this book, Flotsam and I think it was called Flotsam and Jetsam, that said at one point, I think in the 50s or 60s, they would find World War II relics everywhere at St. George Island, this barrier island. But more recently, a lot of those have been sanded in. But then after Hurricane Michael in 2018, I was able to find this 50 caliber machine gun shell casing.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Giant.
And so some people might think that this is kind of, not a big deal because, it's not a mini ball or something from the Civil War. But I think of those brave troops and what they went through for that amphibious training at Camp Gordon Johnson, and how a lot of them did not come back from D-Day. So when I found this after Hurricane Michael in 2018, that's one thing that really got me hooked in the hobby. And then fast forward a few years later, and now I'm living along the First Coast. And another time I found another casing like that. And this one had SL on the end here. So I think it was made in St. Louis, and it also had the number 45. So I think it was manufactured in 1945. And that same time, and it was after, during hurricane season, I also found these bullets that go with the 50 caliber shells.
Man.
And you can even fit them back in, like fit it back together in some cases.
Wow, that's cool.
Like this one. But it's just something, I enjoy here in Florida because we don't have as much Civil War activity. So I thought I would share that.
Yeah, enjoy the history you're surrounded by. That's for sure. Larry, how about you, bud? How would you answer that question?
I mean, I've been to think about it. That's a tough one. In general, I love history, especially when I'm somewhere where there is historical evidence of things like going to a fort and stuff. People might think I'm crazy, but I try to take something from those places, If you're walking around and there's a sliver of brick on the ground, I will pick up a sliver of brick and stick it in my pocket. You're probably not supposed to, I don't know, but it's laying there. It's just getting stomped on. But for me, that's like, hey, this is the brick from this fort, from whatever year, the 1800s, 1700s, whatever it is. It's just something cool that, most people think it's a piece of brick, man. Because, maybe a lot of people don't appreciate history or something like that. But I love those things. I also like Savannah, Georgia. They were tearing streets up one time, and I got one of those cobblestone rocks. There's just piles of them sitting there. And I know they brought those. The story is, whether or not it's actual either, but they brought those cobblestones from Europe.
Sure.
They built those streets in Savannah. Mm-hmm. And Savannah is, you can spend so much time down there looking at historical stuff. It's amazing. I just can't get enough of that kind of stuff. People, that's one thing that someone would think, hey, if you don't like history, then you don't like history. But if you do, you just can't really get enough of it.
Yeah.
And as far as maybe finding something in the ground, probably the number one is a wheat penny. Like, people probably are like, wheat pennies, right? But if I find a wheat penny, I'm good with it. I like finding a wheat penny. I'm looking for that 1909 VDB. So
that's right.
Got to turn a lot of them over until you pull that one.
You do.
One of these days. What about you, Tony? You have a think about that one? I know we've been busy behind the scenes, like chatting back and forth.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna say buttons and bullets. It doesn't matter how many. We're at sites right now that it's late 1800s, early 1900s. We're finding a lot of modern stuff crossover and contamination. But if I find an old button, I don't care, man. To me, it was on somebody's shirt who was a pioneer coming through Colorado, and there's no design on it. Maybe on the back it says extra quality or something like that. To me, it's still history to that site. And many people, I've seen videos, and people maybe don't even show them necessarily a lot on videos anymore. It's like, oh, just another flat button or whatever. I don't know, man. It was on somebody's clothing that was coming across who weren't dropping any money. I can tell you that. So I got to find the stuff that they were dropping. Right. And it was generally like a button. Or maybe, honestly, pocket knives. I like pocket knives too.
Yeah, those are cool too.
Yeah. Especially this is what blows my mind. When you find it and it's still open, like somebody was using it, they dropped it and they said, I'll just leave it there. I'm going to walk away from it. What?
Yeah. Not Tony. Tony's like,
what about you, man?
Oh, it's probably tokens. Like anything token, anything like a tax token. I know most people just get sick of those and they're tired of them. It's just a token. But tokens always thrill me. Anything that has any writing on it. I don't care if it's a clock part or anything, if it's got writing on it. And I'm right with you there for buttons. I mean, I'll put a button in a place of honor and actually, kind of put it up in let me see if I can put that.
What you got there? Oh, I was just thinking, we were out at that site not too long ago. Going back out there in that area.
Early 1900s ladies button, but hey,
yeah,
it's a cool design on it, and it
very cool design.
Retains a place of honor in its own little thing. So, most people just think, it's just a boring button, but it's cool. What I do is when I look at that in this case, I know who I was with, I know what I was doing, I know how hot it was, I know what happened during that trip, I know how many steps I took. and other stuff I found with that. So yeah.
On that trip, there were more than one of those buttons found.
I do. I'll always have that memory when I look at that button.
That's right.
I'll always think mine has the center post, and Jeff's did not.
That's true too.
Which
isn't that crazy how you can look? You could look at something in your relic case and take you right back to that moment.
Right. That's what's cool.
I think that's cool.
Sure. Jason, what other stuff you finding up there in South Dakota?
Well, yeah, and for those who don't know, I'm located out in western South Dakota, not that far from Mount Rushmore and not that far from Deadwood. Gold discovery, a lot of that sort of stuff. And I also hunt more in the central part of the state as well. So what I've kind of worked towards is really working the homesteads in a lot of the ghost towns that really are just in shambles now, sorting through a lot of the iron. And I have some really great permissions. And for those, on this call, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without really good landowners that let us do our thing. So I try to, some of the finds I keep, some of them I don't, but I really do have a neat permission that was a community at one point with a large community hall, not that far from a military camp as well. That included all sorts of, even a hospital and pretty big camp. And so this town became kind of a focal point for people to go to and celebrate. And so what I'm finding are a lot of liquor containers, all sorts of shards of glass and all sorts of things. But what's also unique, I guess, and what I find really interesting is that it did actually have a newspaper in the town. And so what I am finding, as you guys know, but
I've got pictures here too, Jason. If you tell me, just throw them up, whatever you need.
Throw up 2155.
Okay.
That is a New Perfection cookware stove advertisement. So obviously the picture, I had to invert it so you can see it like it is. But I think Ken and I both went down a rabbit hole about figuring out what New Perfection cook stoves were. So trying to piece together these little relics and artifacts of how people lived and how they operated, and lived off the land essentially, it is very interesting to me. I should have listened a little better in history class. In fact, because when you find these pieces, you just really, it gives you something that people actually saw, they read. And I'll put this up as well, but I've probably tried to organize them, and it's really hard to see, but there's a bunch of pieces in here talking about patents. There's a lot of, for the DuPont Paint Company, there's another DuPont advertisement, talks about baseball team that they had in town. It's quite interesting just to see what people read in papers and how much work actually went into getting the word out, where now you can post something on social media and it spreads like wildfire really quick. It wasn't like that back in the day. One of the unique ones I did it here is actually, it's a picture of one of the ones I have in here. I'd actually found one of these pieces, put it in my bag. I went back, I cleaned out my bag. I saw that it was a plate. I kept it and put it aside. I went back later, probably a couple weeks later, and actually found the second piece. And when I got home, I started going through them, and I actually saw that they fit together.
Wow.
And what it is actually, so I printed it out, what it meant on the back, but they're actually limericks of sort of that old settler type humor, play on words. And so I find particular interest in that.
Hey, Jason, before we move on to the next one, Ohio Relic Hunter, as we were looking at the New Perfection stove, he mentioned even the clock read 6 o'clock. Actually, does it read 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock? But Generally, that would be what? Supper time.
Supper time.
Exactly.
What kind of minor detail that they put in an advertisement like that as well.
Well,
That's
Jason,
cool.
like Jason said, we went down the rabbit hole on this, both of us. And
right.
I found other advertisements for this New Perfection cook stove, and some of them had clocks and some of them didn't, and some had times that were 5, some had times that were 6. But I think he's absolutely right. That's exactly what they're trying to insinuate. Like when it's dinner time, it's time to use your New Perfection cook stove. Like it was really cool to kind of go down and research on.
Yeah.
So this is just another one. I mean, these are the types of things that you're seeing. There's some scales. I believe that's a heel plate. And then the 50 caliber bullet here as well. That's the second one I've found. The other one I pulled out this one complete. I actually pierced the other one with my shovel, and I have that one here as well. But it's interesting to imagine what life was like settling out west and actually having this sort of ammunition around. So jewelry, this is actually a necklace. There's a little, I think it's this little piece here is from the Panama Pacific Exposition. I believe it was held in 1915 out in San Francisco. Wow. What's unique about this one is actually does say South Dakota exhibitor on it. And I think obviously somebody had gone out there from the town to actually, showcase South Dakota, promote South Dakota's agriculture, all sorts of things. So, a little bit more of the jewelry. Here's the other one that I pierced. Wow. More printing relief plates, and then shoe buckle, all sorts of different things. But and I know this is fast, but a few of the old brass rings really intrigued me a little bit. Interesting story about these buttons. I think I've got a picture of that up there as well. Is a year ago, I found 4 of them. They were all within an area about 3 feet of each other. I went back the next year and I found another set of 4, all within about a 3 feet square again, and actually only about 12 feet from one another from where I had found the original part. So I don't know if it was a piece of burned clothing, but I'm trying to track down exactly what these are. I actually, the shined up one, I actually did a little bit of work to see what it was, and I was surprised at how well it cleaned up. But so if anybody knows the history of those,
ask the chat.
Yeah,
what's the back look like, Jason?
There you go, Buckle Boy. Get after that one.
That looks like a cob.
Jason, what's
it's
the
a
back
South
look
Dakota
like?
cob.
Sorry, what was your
guys are
question,
a
Jag?
riot, man.
I was gonna say, what's the back look like?
Oh,
Is it iron back or
Single.
yeah,
it's a one piece.
one piece.
Does
Is
it
it
have any,
black?
like, markings on the back or no?
No, it does not. There's nothing on it. So
It's so weird.
Farmers Association of America. I don't know. I'm making stuff up. I don't know.
That's pretty cool though. No matter what, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Ken, I'll just roll through the pictures here. Makes it a little bit easier to see, I suppose.
Sure. Yeah.
So going back to that original question about boring finds, for some, this would just be a piece of jewelry, a bracelet of some kind. But I got a call last summer from the sheriff of one of our local counties who said, "Hey, do you think you can find a bracelet?" And he says, "Well, the backstory is the girl who lost it, her brother was involved in a fatal vehicle crash. And as the story came to me, the ashes, some of the ashes were actually inside this bracelet. So when I heard the story, I was like, well, yeah, I think I can find it. But I was also in a rodeo ground, a rough idea of where she thought she had lost it. And within probably 20 minutes, we were able to recover this bracelet out of a rodeo ground. If you've ever been to a rodeo ground that's been trampled by horses and loose soil, it was probably one of my more favorite finds. Obviously gave that back, but had to snap a picture of it before we did. So
beautiful story.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Congrats on that. That's a big deal.
And that's a piece of one of the front lens. And if you look closely, it'll actually say Kodak on it, of the old cameras. I'm no camera expert, but it was the front piece of one of those larger cameras. And so, you know, what we have up here, you know, South Dakota wasn't founded as a state until 1889. So finding some of this stuff is, you know, impressive group of finds on this show, as well as some of these people in the chat room. Buckle Boy, I mean, he's finding bucket listers that I would deem to be bucket listers about every episode out there. So, and then going back to a yard find, if you want to go to that next one, it's a old, I'm sorry, it's a bad picture, but it's a military infantry type ring that actually found in our yard. Again, you never know where this stuff is, and some of those best finds are right where you live. So, and then one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I mentioned it earlier, is about, you know, the landowners and allowing us to do this. So, on one of the permissions, I am finding glass, a lot of it from whiskey containers, to a lot of liquor containers, all sorts of thickness, colors, shapes. And I started to collect that. And I was wondering what I was going to actually do with all this glass I had found. And I was fortunate to have a glass blower that works out of Deadwood, that I had seen some of the work that she had done, but I actually got these. I just picked these up yesterday.
Wow.
And I had a whiskey glass. She melted the glass down and actually made the shards of glass into this whiskey container. And
from their property.
From the property. And so I thought that was pretty neat of her to do. And I've got a couple more on order because I'm impressed to how they turned out. So if anybody's looking for ideas, and it, you know, there's definitely some imperfections. She actually made 2 of them. The other one's a little bit taller. The landowner doesn't know I have these yet. And I doubt he'll be watching, but I'm excited to give these to him because, you know, without good people that allow us to do this, none of this would be possible. So
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Really cool.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, we had some, you showed, I mean, you went through a lot of stuff. There's a lot of comments, but Buckle Boy really thought that was awesome with the glass. Scott LaFleur says, now that is rad. An honor to drink out of one of those.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely.
They're going to be thrilled. They're going to be absolutely thrilled.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And they won't believe you did it. And you know what I mean? Like, it's really cool,
well,
man.
We were talking about that earlier. I've never heard of somebody ever doing that before, of taking that, melting it down, and redoing what it was intended to do, and kind of respecting that relic and the history, and then on top of it, giving it back to the landowners.
I mean, we've all like put like relic
Sure.
cases together sometimes, right? And given those to the landowners, which is highly recommended for you all out there that are doing this. But to actually have that melted down, I mean, it's going to be so special. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's pretty cool.
That'll be a conversation piece. Like, really cool, Jason. That's awesome, man. Keep us in the loop on that, would you?
Okay.
Let us know how that worked out with the landowner. So amazing. Well, look, guys, we've been on for an hour and a half. Any final relics you guys want to throw up?
I think before we started, I think y'all had talked about y'all wanted to see some dog tags. I was giving back to some people. Do y'all want to see those?
Sure. 1 second first, though. For those of you who have never seen Jag on our show before, you go back and check it out. He was generous enough to come on and give us some of his time like he has tonight. And we talked about dog tags, and he has so many of them that he was able to find that it would be a full-time job to try to find the owners and try to return them to family members. So that's what he's leading into right now. I asked him before we started the show, do you still have a bunch of dog tags? And go ahead and take it, Jack.
Yeah, I've actually been going through quite the amount of dog tags. I got in contact with a guy that my friend put me in touch with. He lives overseas in Europe, and they have a lot more access to like research documentation and like all like the enlistment paperwork and stuff. They just have more access to that kind of stuff since most of the fighting took place over there. Well, with him being on my side now, he's helped me out tremendously researching these tags. And I've got 5 dog tags right here that are confirmed going back to the family members. I'll probably ship them out tomorrow or whenever this storm passes through. I actually posted up on my Instagram story today a small snippet of a text conversation between me and the son of one of the guys. And I called the funeral home to where his father passed. And then they forwarded my information over to him, and then he called me. And he actually didn't believe that I had the tag. He made me read off the enlistment number. So I read off the number. He still didn't believe me. So I sent him a picture. And when I sent him a picture, he started crying.
Oh, man.
And he went on to say how like his father served in like all these different places overseas, and how he didn't have the tags, how he never thought they'd show up again. And it's really amazing because these tags, yes, they're relics, but they have somebody else's name on them. And in my opinion, I think those artifacts should be given back to the proper people.
Wow. Yeah. 100%. Good on you, man. That's awesome. Great stories.
So,
and more to come too. Many more to come.
Way more to come. I'm only through about 15% of the ones that are on my desk right now. So it's a lot of work, but it's so worth it when you get to see these people's reactions. It's absolutely amazing.
People that might not have seen your show before, how many do you think you have?
Well, I've been excavating this site since I want to say I was probably like 11 or 12 years old, and I've recovered well over 4,000
wow.
in that time period.
You got some work to do, man.
Got some work to do. Yeah, got a lot of tags to research. It's one big project, but right now we're making a lot of headway because for me, it takes me a week to research one tag. I mean, it's just so hard to find the information with these guys, but the boys over in Europe, they know how to do it, and I send my friend a picture of one of these tags, and he gets back to me within 2 or 3 minutes. All the information I need, all I have to do is make a phone call, and that's it.
Wow, that's great resource.
Saves me a lot of work, and it's such an honor to be able to get these tags back because like we were talking about earlier, like it's these dudes were people who fought for the freedom in our country. You know what I mean? And it's an honor to not only have these dog tags, but to be able to return them. It's just it makes me feel really good whenever I'm able to do that.
That's awesome.
It's incredible.
If I could real quick, I don't have anything to show you, but I have something to tell you. And Jag just led right into kind of where I wanted to go. I appreciate you guys, first of all, for what you guys do, and for all of you, how you respect the hobby. Because, I mean, it's not all about going out and just finding something and running off and bragging about it and then going back out. There's more to this hobby than that, which led me to one of my finds that I had returned to an owner. I was at a deal one evening, a gathering in the community, and I had a couple of things I found in my pocket. And one of them was like a 1941. It was a Nazi coin that I found at an old inn. And this old fella, he's in his 80s, and he didn't know anything about metal detecting or anything. And he asked me about how I found that, and I explained to him. And he's just so interested. And he looks at me with a serious face, and he goes, Larry, he said, can you find a wedding ring? And I said, Gene, I don't know. I've never tried to find a wedding ring. I'd never been asked to go find something for somebody. And this was a couple of months into when I started hunting for stuff, metal detecting. So about 3 weeks later, I stopped at their house, and they'd been married for years. He'd lost his wedding ring 20 years ago. And he proceeds to kind of explain to me where he lost it. And, he's getting older. He didn't, he wasn't sure, but he said it was way out here, way over here, way over here. So I kind of just used my senses to kind of like decide where did he spend the most time. And so I started in that little area. And I'm not kidding you. This guy had the greatest time. I was down there digging the second hole, and he was on his hands and knees looking at me. He looked at me in the face, and he goes, Larry, this is so much fun, And I'm like, yeah. I said, Gene, it is a lot of fun. I said, I hope we find a ring. It'll be even better. And by golly, the third hole, well, he had a titanium ring on, and I said, can I scan that to see what it sounds like? And it was not a good sound, And third hole in, what pops out of the ground? A gold wedding ring.
Oh, man. It
was his wedding ring. And his wife come out, and I had them slip it on his finger, and I took pictures. They're on my Facebook page if you guys ever want to go look at those. And what Jag was saying, that was such a great touching moment, to see that come back to life and be put right back on his finger. They were in tears, and it was just like, that's some of the things that just, you would never suspect when you start doing metal detecting what's going to come from it.
Right.
So
you'd always think it's about what you're finding, but not what you discover. You know what I mean?
Right.
And all those things you discover. Jason, final words from you, and J-Man, we'll go for final words from you, and we'll go ahead and get on out of here.
Hey man, thanks for the invite to be on tonight. It's interesting to always hear everybody's stories, and it's very impressive finds, and a good group of people in here tonight asking some really great questions. So again, thanks for having me on, and appreciate it.
Sure. We'll see you soon. J-Man.
Thanks, guys, for having me on. Just one last relic to share is this little manufacturing plate from the Perry Manufacturing Company of Indianapolis, Indiana. And that's from a carriage from 1899.
Oh, wow.
And I thought about that when we were talking earlier about double check your pouch and make sure you don't throw away your trash, at least not right away. And this was all bent up. And so I was able to gently straighten it out and figure out what it was. And so that was really cool. I was hunting with a guy has a channel called Park Rat Pat.
Sure.
So that was a lot of fun down in Central Florida. But one other thing just briefly is you guys have talked about the value of being in a club. And I was in a Ocala metal detecting club, but it went inactive. And I realized just earlier this year that I really missed being in a organized club. So I'm going back into one for the Jacksonville area. So I appreciate you guys sharing that advice.
Awesome.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy that and hope it works out for you. I mean, we hear about all kinds of different clubs all across the nation, and, some are very active and some not so much, but like in any club, it is what you make of it, so I hope you make a good deal of that, Jamie, and I hope things work out for you there and you enjoy it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys giving us your time. I know it's always difficult when we have sort of a panel, but I think you guys all did great. And showed some amazing things, like all from our individual areas, you know what I mean? And I just want to thank you guys for showing up and showing us and our listening audience and viewing audience all kinds of cool things. And if you happen to be catching us on the audio replay, this probably wasn't the most exciting episode for you, but I encourage you to come on over and check out the video portion of our podcast here. Yeah. Tony?
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking, we're six guys sitting around this incredible technology that we have from Florida to North Carolina to Missouri to Colorado to South Dakota. And we're all sharing our finds and passion about history, and we all can connect in this. I think it's a fantastic community, not only in the United States, but all across this world. We talk to people all around the world and share this passion. And I think it's a tremendous thing. I thank all of you guys for coming on tonight with us, just giving us your time, hanging out and talking about our passion. So thank you very much to all you guys. And I appreciate it tonight. Had a good show. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. Excellent.
Thanks a lot for having us.
And good luck everyone out there. All you guys, man.
And go team,
guys. Thank you very much.
Jag,
Enjoyed it.
Jag, thank you, man. Go get that good stuff. You're on fire, brother. You're on fire.
I'll try my hardest.
Good luck,
to
everyone.
everybody in
Show
here.
us what you find out there.
Absolutely.
Cheers. Everyone in the
Let's keep
chat.
it
Good night,
Good
guys.
luck. Good luck.
See you all. Good night.
So long haul.
Thank you so much for listening to Relics Radio. We will see you back here next week for another exciting guest. Until then, get out and dig it all.